Hello and welcome to Viewpoint on Ukraine today. Now, it's widely reported that Ukraine's healthcare system is plagued by rampant corruption. Over the past few months, a number of protests have been calling on the government to pass reforms on drug procurement, which would make medicine cheaper and widely available. To discuss Ukraine's healthcare system and some of the problems it's facing is Olha Bohomolets, Ukrainian physician and one of a number of fresh faces to enter the Ukrainian parliament via the 2014 election. Welcome to Viewpoint.
Nice to meet you.
So let's talk about the progress of some of these reforms. Can you tell us what has been done?
Yeah, actually, when we were thinking how we can actually broke the corrupted system, because no one of those people who were making a lot of money, stealing it from Ukrainian people, actually through the Ministry of Health, no one of them was suited, so no one is in prison. That means that we have to find some really good ways how to take them away. So only one thing which we understood that we can really provide fast was the law which gives the possibility to Ministry of Health to give all the buying process, the procurements, actually to international organizations. So we thought that in this period, in few next years, we will build up good system with no corruption. We need international support. So we prepared, together with patient organizations, we prepared a law which gave possibility to the Ministry of Health give all the buying process, the tenders to WHO, to UNICEF, to Crown Agency, so to those organizations who are helping the whole world when there is a need on that. So when we registered, it was a very interesting story, which can actually explain the situation which is coming in the parliament. When we registered the law, actually two laws, one of the tax, how to follow the taxes during this buying of medicaments, and another law which gave possibility. By Ukrainian law, there is a 10-day period when other people can register similar laws on the same item. So in the next few days, two laws with actually the same name were registered, and the next week more two laws were registered. So
I understand these two laws were registered by the companies or by a representative in Parliament of the companies who usually bought or won the tenders to sell
because it's my first time being in the Parliament, I was really surprised because all these laws were registered not by the opposition bloc. Which the main goal of these 6 laws which appeared was not to give possibility to vote, because if you have 6 laws, there is no way how you can get 226 votings for one of them.
Right, and there's a lot of confusion because a lot of the members of Parliament don't understand what the difference is. Yeah,
so these laws were registered not by opposition bloc. These actually laws were the copy-paste of our law with a few changes, and they were registered by the pro-president, actually by coalition. One deputy from Samopomich, Irina Sasoyenko, one deputy from Bloc Petra Poroshenko, Yerynich, and another pair of two deputies from Bloc Petra Poroshenko, Tretyakov and Zagori, who is the owner of the pharmaceutical factory Darnica. So then, in whose interest it is to keep to not change the law and basically keep the Ukrainian company buying actually the drugs. All of them were working in one team, just trying to make to make our life more complicated. So we were trying to push through mass media, through President's administration. I was talking to the chiefs of the President's group, explain what are you doing? What I have to go to the mass media and advertise and explain that the President's bloc is trying to destroy the President's politics, because it was agreed before in the coalition agreement. We all signed that this will be done, because there was no other way to do it really fast. So I was told that just you don't have people told me, just don't think that if you're Bohomolets, if you're in the parliament right now, everything will change and will be like you want.
Why was it in there? Why did they want to keep the laws unchanged, in your opinion?
Because they don't want to change the old system. But we were pressing, and in 1 month, we pressed through mass media, so they were afraid to lose their actually support in the society. So we pressed through the parliament, and President signed the law, which gave possibility to Ministry of Health. Then, after the law is already signed, Ministry of Health can start this procurement buying process and tender process. But Ministry of Health, through all this period, was doing all the steps were done to make it so slow that then, in the end of the year, in December, when they will say, oh, okay, we are ready now, but the international organization have no time, so there is no medicine in the hospital, and international organization, everyone know that they don't have all this medicine somewhere. They have to order them. And it will take from 2 months to 6 months.
Why was it beneficial for the Ministry of Health to not pass and to not make this law into a reality?
Because right now, Ministry of Health has around 4 billion hryvnia on the account just for buying the medicine. 4 billion, it's a huge amount of money. And there is no, right now, no medicine in the hospitals, because even those buyings, those procurements which were done last December, they were not done well. So the agreement which were signed, they gave possibility to make prepayment, and then 6 months later medicine will come. And this medicine never came. So the payment by the government was done by the Ministry of Health in December, but some medicine didn't come even yet. And
so
they didn't.
Some patients are still without medication.
Yes,
basically.
Sure. And no one. I was writing several letters to the Ministry of Health asking to give all the information about those payments to General Prosecutor, so they can understand what's going on, who steal again the money.
So what's the situation right now, as of today?
Right now, through the whole year, so the Ministry of Health, the first step that should be done, they have to ask regions, oblasti, their needs. And usually in previous years, these needs you can exactly understand in January, because they don't change a lot year from year. So we know for sure how many patients with diabetes we have, how many infarcts or strokes will be next year.
Approximately how many patients right now are without any medication as a result of this?
Almost every patient in Ukraine have no government, state guarantees to get this medicine. Mm-hmm. Again, another problem. Right now, the Ministry of Health told us that we probably, again, everything was very, very slow. And right now, they started to sign agreements with the international organization, again, which will need from 2 to 6 months to bring this medication. Mm-hmm. And they say, okay, we don't have time, so maybe half of this amount of money, of 4 billion, will be, the buyings, procurements will be going through the international organization. But right now, it seems that they sign agreement only on 1 billion, so just 25%. Others will be going through again through the same tender procedures. But the key is in the standards of treatment, in the clinical protocols, which Ukraine didn't accept European. I was insisting through last year, because what people really need? They need quality of treatment and understanding who will be paying for that. Mm-hmm.
But also as well, what about all these patients who right now don't have any medication?
They have to buy this medication by their own...
What if they're not able? What if they don't have the financial means?
They're dying. And if you will go to the hospital right now, you will see the empty corridors, because people don't have money, so they don't go to the hospital. So they're laying at home. some of them are dying, some of them just are bringing to the hospital in a very difficult, we have cases when people have, for example, acute cholecystitis, like in the gallbladder, stones, and they're laying at home until they will have peritonitis. And they're bringing to the intensive care, which
right.
needs really much more much more medication, and the cost will be higher.
What about cancer patients? What about AIDS patients?
With AIDS patients, situation is a little bit better because they have very strong civil non-profit organization, and they have a strong voice in the society. But we have much more patients who are dying because of just side effects of hypertension, of infarcts and strokes, where nowhere in the world we are losing 100,000, more than 500,000 people every year. And this is the main cause of death, cardiovascular disease, and that's why the average term of life in Ukraine for men is 69 years, and it's very, very short comparing to what's going in 80 years in Europe, 82 years in Switzerland.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Ms. Bohomolets.
Thank you, and I hope to come next time.
This has been Ms. Olga Bohomolets, a Ukrainian physician and one of a number of fresh faces to enter the Ukrainian parliament via the 2014 election. You've been watching Viewpoint on Ukraine Today.